Today we're dining with three young celebrities, but they're not from the world of film, television, stage, or music. They're rising stars who are setting the food world on fire.
Bobby Flay is the chef and owner of three outstanding restaurants: Mesa Grill, Mesa City, and Bolo. Bobby's also a successful cookbook author, television personality, and past winner of the coveted James Beard Rising Star Chef. On any given night, this ambitious young man can be spotted hustling off to one of his three acclaimed New York restaurants.
Having three restaurants is really, it's an adventure every night. The one thing that I really love doing is going to the restaurants, at least trying to stop by each one every day as much as I can, and really getting a chance to touch all of my sous chefs and my cooks in a way that inspires them.
I'm ordering a grilled ham sandwich. That's what the
Chef John Halligan is also no stranger to needing to be in several places at one time. John is the executive chef at the Regal Royale Hotel, New York, where he oversees 10 banquet rooms, 6 kitchens, a pastry shop, and cooks for Halcyon, the hotel's 100-seat gourmet restaurant. He's a 3-time International Culinary Olympics gold medal winner and part of the movement that is taking hotel food to new heights.
We're not trying to reinvent the wheel, mind you, but we're just doing good food that people recognize, people feel familiar with, people that might have recognized growing up with as a kid, and then putting a little bit of New York attitude in. We call our food here comfort food with an attitude.
Du kan vara här när vi ska...
Young Swedish chef Marcus Samuelson strives for consistency each night in his kitchen at Aquavit, where he serves up the splendors of Scandinavian cuisine. His meteoric rise has included earning a 3-star review at the restaurant at age 24 after running the kitchen for just 5 months.
To be a successful chef, it takes definitely a good combination with passion for the food. You have to be driven as a person, communicate good with the staff, and understand the total aspect that this is a business before anything is a business. If you have those 4 elements, you have the recipe for success.
But where do you sit down to talk with three ambitious young chefs who all have their own outstanding restaurants? Neutral territory, of course. So we'll be having lunch in the French Culinary Institute's own restaurant on Broadway and Grand in the Soho area of Manhattan Island. So join me at the corner table and we'll go behind the scenes into the lives of three sizzlingly successful young chefs. How crazy does it get in their kitchen when the restaurant is really packed? What's the most embarrassing dish they've ever made? And have they ever found romance with a woman who's really good with knives? Let's find out.
I promised our viewers I want to take them behind the scenes into the lives of three successful chefs. So I want you to tell me what it's like in your kitchen when the restaurant is totally packed. People are waiting to get in. The bar is crowded. Describe the scene. What's it like, Marcus?
I think it's like, it's a little bit nervous, it's tense in the kitchen, but I love it. It's like you're in a theater every night, and you have to perform. You're the main character. And if you mess up,
You're the main character.
Yeah, I am actually.
How crazy
I can say that.
Give me a crazy situation.
Well, my place, I have 11 banquets, room service, the dining room going on one time. You were saying what's crazy about it's like controlled chaos. Meaning that even though it seems like it's running around, you actually know everybody's doing
That's
something.
a good term, controlled chaos.
Controlled chaos.
Exactly. Everybody is doing specific things.
Well, let me just throw something in. What's it like at your place, say, at Thanksgiving?
Well, Thanksgiving is like, we do 800 brunch upstairs. We did 75 turkeys to go this year, and we had
You packed 75 turkeys out of the house?
We only have like 10 ovens, and we had to start cooking the turkeys at like 10 o'clock the night before. So it was a lot of fun.
Thanksgiving's my favorite day.
Yeah.
It really is.
You
it's a long
work
day.
in Thanksgiving, right?
I work and then I go home and cook. It's sort of. I wake up hungry on Thanksgiving. I can kind of smell the turkey in the oven.
Well, if you were over near him, you'd be smelling hundreds of
Absolutely.
turkeys in the oven. But can you have anything for that? What is it like in the kitchen? The places?
I get high off the energy. I mean, I open restaurants at Mesa Grill and Mesa City and at Bolo. The common denominator is that the energy is really high.
How about when crisis strikes? Because does like the worst crisis in the history of running a restaurant, anything come to mind?
You know, I have to say that actually not in one of my restaurants, but I worked for Jonathan Waxman, who we were talking about the '80s. He was it. You know? And I remember 2 days in a row. It was 6 o'clock, and we had all of our mise en place, all of the food out, ready to start service. All the sauces were made, everything was out, and all of a sudden, for no reason, the Ansel system, the fire thing, snowed on the kitchen, you know, with all that like foam.
It's not funny, but
at
it
6
is
o'clock,
funny.
and it was like a Saturday night, you know, 350 covers on the books, you know, reservations, and what do?
What did you do?
Well, Jonathan luckily owned 2 other restaurants, and he called all the cooks, and they all came over, and like in an hour and like, you know, an hour and 15 minutes, we were ready to go. The next day, it happened again.
Wow.
It was like who's sabotaging us?
There's a message from somebody there for sure. How about you? Worst crisis? What comes to mind?
Not so much as a crisis, a daily crisis. For me, what we'll be doing, we in our restaurant, in my restaurant, we do some nice American comfort food, and we'll be on a Saturday night. We'll be real busy, and everything will be going crazy. Have banquets going on and everything, and there'll always be that one person in room 15, whatever, that orders a grilled cheese sandwich right in the middle of all the chaos, you know. And so for me, it's like we have to stop everything. We gotta, you know, and you gotta teach somebody how to make a grilled cheese sandwich.
Can romance blossom in the kitchen? I mean, I was thinking about this. You're all, I don't mean just for you, but in general in the kitchen. You're working long hours, a lot of heat. There's not a lot of social life frequently outside of work because you work such long hours. You see a lot of romance blossoming?
I see a lot of it. 60% of my kitchens are women right now. So there's a great mix of, I mean, basically, the people in my kitchens are talking about the things they like. Food, sex, you know, and every once in a while some wine.
So this is what's going on with people out there waiting for their dinners,
you know, it's
right?
like order 2 shrimp tamales, and anyway, so what are you doing later on? I mean, that's what's really going on, but it lends a really great feeling in the kitchen, and I think it makes the food taste better.
I want to have a mixed kitchen. I always want to have a mixed kitchen with a lot of women and a lot of men mixed up together, having fun, you know.
Well, for me, I'm sure a lot of people are laughing right now because I'm guilty as they come with romance in the kitchen. Although I just got married, so I'm not going to comment on that.
Oh, well, I want to hear about the guilty part.
The old days, the old days.
Let's hear about the old days.
No. Well, you're putting. I'll put it as blunt as I can. You're putting in long hours, and you're. He's quiet over there too. You put in long hours, and you know you tend to not leave the building, and most of your friends are people that you work with, and
It becomes your social life.
Becomes your social life. Yeah.
What is the single most embarrassing dish you've ever created?
When I opened Bolo,
The Spanish restaurant,
about 4.5 years ago, I wanted to do sort of a new version of paella. You know, of course, why not recreate one of the best dishes in the world, right? So
reinvent.
Reinvent it. So it sounded good to me. It was lobster and duck and the risotto. It was the rice was made with arborio rice as opposed to short grain rice.
On paper.
With saffron and this and that, and it sounded really good. And everybody around me kept saying to me, it's not that good. You know, and I kept saying, you're wrong. This dish is really good. It's going to be the signature of this restaurant, and everybody's going to know about it.
How long did it stay on the menu?
Well, I'll tell you, when Ruth Reichel finally came in from the New York Times and gave us a really good review, the one thing she said about the dish was, she said, and as I'm sitting there eating the lobster and duck paella, I kind of feel like the lobster's sitting there trying to figure a way to crawl out.
I read a wonderful review of Aquavit in Gourmet Magazine, but the reviewer did mention the honey glazed garlic and eggplant Napoleon as being something with too many ingredients.
But I think that comes from being a young chef. When you get older, you trust the flavors from that product. When you're a young chef, you're sort of like a frustrated young kid. You want to show what I can do, and this flavor really does work well. You learn that maybe it's the reason why less is more.
Pull back a little bit more.
Exactly. And I can see a difference how I'll cook now, and when I did 3 years ago. And hopefully when I'm 30, I can see a different one,
Continue to evolve.
Continue. It's a work in progress.
I want to take a break, but before we do, Elizabeth Taylor ordering weird dietary requests from room service. Tell us that story. What did she want?
I was at the Regency Hotel, and I got a phone call in the middle of the kitchen, And hello, darling, you know, this is Elizabeth Taylor. At the time, I thought it was somebody playing a joke on me, and I said, all right, yeah, who's this? You know, Frank or whatever. And no, this is Elizabeth Taylor, and she was staying in a hotel. I just didn't realize. Anyway, she had ordered, is it possible to have steak au poivre and pomme duchesse? And at that time, we're talking 10, 12 years ago, she was pretty heavy.
Right.
You know? And I was like, yeah, sure, you can have anything you want. Yeah. Then I realized it was actually her, and I'm like, you know, then I
Gotta
started,
go.
yeah.
So Elizabeth Taylor actually called you, and
Oh yeah, a few times.
That's phoning in a request. Well,
Yeah.
we phoned in our request for our entrees. We'll do that, and we'll be back right after this.
And when we return, the big question, do chefs have groupies?
I think Bobby should answer that.
Bobby knows all about that.
Well, you know what the great thing about
The Institute started in 1984 with one kitchen, one teacher, and 8 students. Today, it has about 400 yearly graduates who train in either the culinary arts or the pastry arts in the school's 12 kitchens. For our corner table lunch today, the students served us a chickpea and duck sausage salad, cream of mushroom soup, sautéed sea bass fillet with cucumber, and roasted chicken with grapefruit and peppercorns. And now lunch with our Food World hotties, Chef Bobby Flay, Marcus Samuelson, and John Halligan.
What about the celebrity element of being a chef in the 90s? Much different than it was 15, 20 years ago. How important is it for you guys to be on TV and to be out there and have your names out there?
I think it's really important. If you have the opportunity to be on television for your profession, you have to do it. Because if you don't, somebody else will. And the competition now is so fierce. There's so many great chefs and great restaurants in this country and in every city.
So promoting yourself is almost as important as what's on the plate.
Without a doubt. You have to remind people that you're there.
Really?
And people today, they don't always want to read advertisement, come to Aquavit, come to Mesa Grill. They'd rather take in advertisement from it that Bobby's cooking on TV or we're sitting here talking. So it's a different approach, and I think you have to do it. Without this type of PR, it wouldn't be possible.
You think there's a jealousy between chefs who don't get on TV or are not good on television and chefs like yourself who are very telegenic?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Chefs are a very close-knit, group of guys or women. You know, everybody, you'd be surprised, you'd be in a big room and you always go out of your way to meet each other. I don't think there's that much.
No?
That's the great thing about this business. The people are incredible.
Yeah.
You have groupies? Food groupies? Yes,
now we go back to what we talked about before, and I think Bobby should answer that.
Yeah, Bobby knows all about that.
Well, you know what the great thing about
Answer obviously yes.
what I wanted to say was that if you have a chance to be on television and you can actually look into the camera and say, listen, and stop into my restaurant and make sure you say hello. I know that really works because people really do. They want to come in and they actually say, you know what, you said to me, you said on television to say hello, and here I am to say hello, and I'm grateful for everyone.
So you got that personal contact.
Yeah.
How do you discipline yourselves from not eating too much or not drinking too much? To me, that would be a very difficult part of the job.
I'll tell you something that I've started to do, and it's really worked, is I've stopped eating really late at night, which is really natural for us.
Wow. I could never do that.
Because, we were talking about before being a really close-knit group of people, and so it's very easy for us to get together like at 1 o'clock in the morning, go downtown and have 4 courses and 3 bottles of wine.
And burn it off. Burn off all that hard work.
And then go to sleep. And that's where the weight problem could be a problem.
Well, what about when you're actually making food? For me, the problem is whenever I cook, which is not that seldom, I eat a lot.
Well, you have to.
I'm
keep
eating
tasting it.
while I'm making it.
Sure.
How do you avoid overeating? Over drinking.
You're sweating. You're burning off the excess right there.
You burn
and
a lot of calories.
and the stress, and you really have no time to sit there and actually sit down and eat a meal.
Do you ever dream about food, literally,
All the
in your
time.
sleep? Yeah. In your dreams?
Yes.
Give me one that you remember.
You know what? I see finished dishes, especially when I'm working on menus. Like I have to change 3 menus every season. So it's 12 menu changes a year. Plus, then there's also like lunch menus as well. But when I'm in a mode of where I'm like pressuring myself that I have to change the menu by Thursday, and like I've already posted the sign, menu change on Thursday, and I don't have the menu ready, I have all these foods kind of going through like the asparagus I can see it like kind of drifting in my head, and it just.
You dream about food?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you constantly have to think about food. You have to be
And you sleep at night.
Yeah, absolutely. And Because it's a lot of similarities to us. It's not that many differences. I mean, we're all extremely driven. Just by sitting here, you can feel it's a tense group of people, but we're driven by we want to be successful, we want to do well. I think we owe that to our staff, because our staff works so hard for us and we demand so much. So I think it's, for me, I just feel like I have to be successful for them.
I dream about critics too. I really do.
Critics? And, are you carrying armed weapons when you're doing these dreams?
No, because we were talking before, you know, critics, there are certain critics who are so incredibly powerful that they can change your life in a stroke of a pen.
Name two. Ruth
Gail Green
Reichel.
and Ruth Reichel.
Okay. Two New York
especially in New York, you know.
Two New York critics, yeah.
And you know, when they come into your restaurant, it's just, I mean, it's all on the line, you know.
And I welcome you back to our corner table with chefs John Halligan, Marcus Samuelson, and Bobby Flay. It's time for dessert, and I've got a couple hypothetical questions. If you could be beamed up, just like Star Trek, and beamed down anywhere on Earth tonight for dinner, where would you like to be having dinner, and with whom would you like to be having it?
I think I'd have to go to what they say is the best chef in the world, Orlando Cas in Monaco. And I would like to have dinner with Bill Clinton.
All right. And what would you ask him?
A lot.
How about you, Marcus? Beamed up, beamed down?
I think I would like to have dinner with Oprah and in Bangkok at the Oriental. Stay a week in there and just have nice.
You're saying you want to spend a week with Oprah?
No.
Really?
I would like to have dinner with her, but stay at the Oriental in Bangkok.
Okay.
And work with.
Because, you know, Stedman watches this program.
That's
you have to be
all
careful.
right. That's
How
all
about
right.
you,
You can come
John?
with us.
Beam up,
Well, I'm
beam
going to be
down.
politically correct. I'd love to have dinner with my wife, of course. Not the Inn at Little Washington. I think it's the most romantic, beautiful. You know, it's a great restaurant down outside Washington, D.C. I love it.
What's in your refrigerators right now? If we take our corner table cameras into your apartment, and we open the door, what's in the refrigerator?
Milk, cornflakes, and I think
You
2
keep
beers.
cereal in the refrigerator?
No, like right outside, like 2 beers or something like that.
Milk and cornflakes.
And it's funny because my kitchen. I'm taking a picture of my kitchen for Bon Appetit magazine this afternoon. So they're gonna laugh when they see my kitchen and the whole.
What's in your refrigerator at home, John?
There's nothing. Baby food. It keeps up one side of the refrigerator. There's beer. There's just. I do a lot of grilling outside. I just bought a house, so I do a lot of grilling out on the back porch. So there'll be some steak or something.
So you've got a stocked refrigerator.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not like Bachelor Marcus.
Exactly.
How about you, Bobby? What's in your refrigerator? Opening it up right now and looking at, what do I see?
It's really simple. White wine, champagne, mineral water, Dijon mustard, and Haagen-Dazs of every flavor.
What are you putting the mustard on?
It's my favorite condiment, so whatever, you know, for a sandwich I bring home.
So you're a Haagen-Dazs person.
Totally.
All right. What's your favorite flavor of Haagen-Dazs?
It varies. Right now I'm into the macadamia brittle situation.
I am a Cherry Garcia Ben & Jerry ice cream.
Yeah.
Ben & Jerry's is great also.
Ben & Jerry's
Give me
great.
that Cherry Garcia.
Haagen-Dazs and Ben & Jerry's are
That's good.
where it's at.
Quickly here, what was the dinner table like when you were 12 years old at your house? What was the atmosphere like? Formal dinners, informal craziness?
Very informal. There was a family of 4, so my mother did all the cooking. And very informal, in and out.
Marcus?
We ate at 5 o'clock when my dad came home, and my mom did all the talking. And it was intense.
All right. Bobby?
Really informal. My mom was like a big pork chop and applesauce and lamb chops and mint jelly cook. Great cook, really simple American food.
Let me say this, nobody's ever made me a better pork chop than my mother either. Well, this has been, I've really had a good time. We should say you're actually a graduate here at the French Culinary
very first
Institute.
class, a long time ago,
They
Bill.
sent you on your way.
That's absolutely.
I always like to close each show with a toast. If you raise your wine glass, I'll actually begin this. I'd like to toast our Food Network viewers, myself saying thank you for watching, and I wish you good health in the months ahead. What would you like to wish?
Same thing. Good health. Good.
Say hi to me when you come to the restaurant.
Bobby?
Spend a lot of money when you come to this.
All right, that's it. Thank you very much, guys. And
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
continued success. Thank you for joining us here at the corner table. Now, dessert. I haven't had a taste yet. Bill Clinton. Yeah, someone else said Bill Clinton.
really?
Joy Behar said Bill Clinton. But
I'm cooking for Al Gore this Sunday.
you're
Are you
cooking
really?
for Gore this Sunday?
Love
No
that.
kidding. What did he order?
Sea bass and arugula salad. And he had to clear it with him like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Where will you be cooking? In Washington?
Upstairs. No, upstairs.
Oh, in your hotel.
Oh, I love that.
That's very interesting.
I want to cook at the White House.
Do you?
Just not all the time.
Right.
But I really want to do something at the White House.
Well, if you go to the White House, you must get clearance for the Food Network to come and videotape you cooking at the White House.
There's got to be a way to do a state dinner or something. I mean, they used to do it all the time. Forgione used to do it.
Larry did a lot of them.